Hey tubers, what do we got? Car repairs. Son of a bitch. I thought I was finished them, but it looks like I was changing the oil in the son's Camry the other day and found that the radiator was bone dry. No water in the bottle, no nothing. So I am now in the process of draining the fluid so I can pull the radiator, and it's all wet along the bottom. I'm guessing that it's just finally died. I've watched some videos. I'm not exactly sure what's the easiest, best way to pop this sucker off, but I'm gonna go for it. Okay, first step for me is always when I'm doing car repairs, let's disconnect the battery. And I think I'm actually going to take the battery out because it looks like this has got to come off and it goes under the battery tray. Some video I watched told me that there's a connector under there to pull this piece free. So that seems to be my first step after the battery. Alright, I'm going to keep jumping you in and out. Alright, the battery's out. And it looks like I'm going to have to take these two bolts out of the way, loosen them up, so that I can get this piece out. That's the next step. Once this piece is out, then I guess I'm going to attack this. Some people disconnect the wires for the horns because, you know, just pop and clip. I might do the bolts. I don't know. Alright, I've just learned something. It appears it's not these two bolts under the battery box that's holding this piece in. It goes into whatever this box thing is. See, it's a little... whatever this is, this hose right here goes into it where you probably can't see, where my finger's pointing, right in between, they connect. I loosen this up, this should come out. Alright, I've run into my first little snag. When you unbolt here, this piece, it'll just slip out. There's a rubber grommet here. When you pull it away, it just ricocheted off into the distance somewhere, so hopefully it'll show up in more of the dismantle stage. I should probably throw a tarp under the truck. Okay, on this Camry, I've unplugged the one electrical connection. There does not appear to be any other electrical connectors at all. No sensor at the bottom of this radiator. So one plug gets it electrically free, and I'm going to take out fans, hoses. There's lots of room. Just going to lift it all out, disconnect it from the top. And I've decided I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to take off the bolts on the horns. For me, one of the hardest things to do is electrical connections, on, off. They just are a pain in the butt. I'm just going to try unbolting it and see what I can't wiggle around. Okay, and let me also say that everything I'm doing so far, up until now, it's all been 10 mil. I'll bet you this is 12. That's 11. You can hear me going through my mismatched sockets. That's 12. Up until now, I've been using 10. It appears right here I'm swapping to 12s. Very simple. And this, because I'm just doing it this time, I've got a bucket for parts, but I'm also putting things back, bolts and things in the spots, so I'll be able to find them easier. that horn out of the way. And hey, probably just as easy as disconnecting. You know, choice is yours. Now, one, two, three bolts here. But this one is going to be a pain in the butt to get to. I think, back to 10, I'm going to see if I can just disconnect it from down here. Is this a... Oh, this thing's got two radiators. I have no idea. I guess this is some automatic transmission fluid radiator. It's turning. It's turning, but it's not coming out. My guess is that's rusted straight. So, we go to the top. And we take out top bolts. Not the end of the world. Okay. So this is free, but I've still got to free this. And I can't get a 10 mil in there, which means it's going to take a 10 millimeter wrench. And actually, this is where one of those little ratchet babies would come in very handy right now. But using the box end of the wrench, it's doable. This one's a stiff one. There we go. That's free. There's some kind of wire here, but I think I can get it out of the way when I just kind of wiggle it out of the way. All right, the moment of truth. I wiggle this back a little. Let's see, let's get that out of the way. It seems to want to come. Okay, what's holding it up is all the extra crap that I kind of left on so that I wouldn't have to be dealing with it in the car. So just wrestle your way up with it, and you are now the proud owner of a radiator. Let's see if I can find that part that disappeared before into the car. Here we go. No, that's a radiator thing. That goes right there. All right, here it is, the little plug that disappeared from that airbox thing. All right, I'm owning it. All right, sorry about that. Let me get these things back where it's supposed to be. I want to give a big shout out to Advanced Auto. Ow, Jesus, that staple's sharp. They actually had the part in stock at the store. And I did the order online and pick it up in the store. I'm really a fan of that. So right now we're just in the process of transferring all of the little bits and pieces from the one radiator over to the other. Damn, these hoses can always be a biatch. I'm going to let you see me struggle with this one, but after this I might just go to no, I'm done struggling. I figured it out. And that usually loosens them up. Stuff it on so you know which one goes where. Wow, that one went way deep. There you go. Just stuff them on so you know where they went. This is pretty much idiot proof. The hardest part is getting all your little clamps off. All right. Ugh. And just stuff those bad boys on. Now let me just say, if after you get this done you do end up with a leak or something, in all probability it's one of these hose clamps that's not being happy to you. In which case, you can just go to upgrade to the regular old, screw type hose clamps. But your first bet should be just try to... Now, if you're using the free hand like I am, be careful you don't pinch yourself. These things have got some kind of lock on them. And I bet you it takes some special damn snap-on tool. There we go. And of course, a little blood. You're not doing real car repairs unless you seem to be bleeding on the job. There we go. Now I can move it, slip it on. If I were really trying to do a good job, I would consider replacing all of the all these hoses, these upper and lower radiator hoses. But we're not doing a good job. We're just fixing the car. So we break out a little 10mm socket, whatever I did with that. I got a deep well, so that'll work. Look, I'm going to shut you off, save film. Okay, it only took 5 minutes to just 3 screws along the top, and all the fans pop off and pop back in. On this model, there is no sensor. There's nothing electronic at the bottom. It's one plug, takes all the fans free. Now I'm going to let you see me try to struggle this thing in the first time, and we'll see what that tells us. Okay, so let me I think what I'm going to do, just to start, make my life a little easier, is I'm going to take this off. Because this is the only really big thing sticking in my way. Open these up a little more. Instead of putting a screwdriver in and trying to pry up a corner, I just tend to take these with a pair of pliers and try wiggling them a little bit in a couple of spots. That usually breaks them free. Then you can pop them off. Okay. Some kind of clamp. All right, so now I pretty much have smooth sailing at this point to drop this radiator back in. Okay. Now, when you handle these things, don't beat the snot out of them, okay? Just ease them in. What is stopping me from going down? Alright. That's one side down a little bit. And you just got to kind of work it down in there so it sits in those little rubber stumps, because that's what holds the bottom of your radiator. Man, this thing dropped in really nice. Okay, then I just lift up on this, pull it under, and there's these two rubber plugs right there. That bad boy's in. And just so I don't get any contamination in it, I'm just setting the cap back on semi-tight, loose, whatever. Guys, at this point it really is a done deal. I'm just going to start buttoning it up. If I run into any trouble along the way, I'll let you know, but now it's just hook up a hose, hook up a hose, hook up your the hoses for your power steering. And the nice thing about all these hoses, they're really self-evident on where they go, so you don't have to worry about getting too confused or lost. And the only thing I might have done different on this job, I don't think I'd have taken the horns off. I probably would have just left them and folded it out of the way. Okay, let me get this thing buttoned up and I'll bring you back, because this is not hard. Alright, hopefully you got a good view here. I'm getting ready to put in whatever this thing is. I guess it's part of the air box. And it goes down in here, but I can't really put that in until I struggle this piece here up and in. So we set that down, I don't know, something like that. This has to make the horseshoe bend, which it's doing. Now somewhere here, before I get it clipped into the air box, I'm going to try to put this part together. There we go. See if we can't get this all to marry up in one whoosh. There. And it did. One good whoosh. And it's all together. All right. Now it's just a matter of bolting it up. Slip in that washer that was there. I feel the rain coming. I feel the rain coming. Can I get the repair done before the rains come? Okay, that's in. Ooh, I forgot to put this little rubber, this thing here, into the side to keep it from walking around or something. I don't know. There we go. That's the spot. That pops in. Now it can't wiggle back and forth. All right, 2 8mm or 10 millimeters here. One, two. Now I still have not refilled the system, but I have gone through and made sure every one of my hose clamps, connectors are all in place, ready to go. Now I've got a brand new radiator cap from just the other day when I tried to do the quick fix. So everything should be dry now. All right, that's in, that's in. Battery and the coolant. I think I'll slip the battery in right now. Which way does this tray go? Just like that. There's the battery tray. There we go. I'm cheating and hooking this thing first, because it's always a pain in the ass to get it in there. All right, move my positives and negatives out of the way slightly, and we bring in a battery. Before I get going too much, take a minute and do a little terminal maintenance. Hit it with a little battery grease. Okay. Damn. At least it's red so I could see it. All right, I'm going to turn you off for a minute, save some film. All right, tubers, it's starting to rain. I want to finish this job in the rain, but I'm going to take the camera in. Bye.